Good morning. So this is musculoskeletal module 3. You can see here in the module outline, we have yung mga topics na i-cover natin for today. And to begin with, we have fracture. Okay? So fracture is, to put it simple, is just a break in a bone. Okay? But madami siyang klaseng fracture. So you will see here later kung ano yung mga yon. Ano ba yan? Nasa second page. Okay? And we have what we call a compound fracture, an open fracture where there is a broken skin. So ibang usapan kapag nag-break lang yung bone sa loob ng katawan mo, but if it penetrated the muscle all the way through the skin, as in nakita mo na, no, na merong buto na lumalabas dun sa tao, and that's what we call a compound fracture. So minsan pupunta sa ER, na aksidente, gusto pa ng X-ray, lumalabas na yung buto, no? So no need to, of course, no need to X-ray, pero syempre kung if you will do sa medical management, X-ray talaga yung kailangan natin. Okay? So fracture talaga yun, nakita mo na yung buto eh. However, when it speaks to the joint, uh, it's dislocation or subluxation or simply luxation lang. The displacement of joint surfaces with abnormal articulation and reduction. Reduction is a restoration of a fracture or dislocation to the correct alignment with the use of a splint. Okay? A splint is a medical device for immobilizing limbs, spine to prevent injury. So how does it look like? So it's like this. Ito yung, for example, this is your skin. This is your muscle area. Okay. And then here is your bone. Okay. So mangyayari kung ang fracture mo ay hindi naman tumagos dito sa labas, ganyan lang siya. So nag-break lang siya. For example, from there, it become like this. Or probably ganito. Okay? So the splinting will come, first muna is reduction. Okay? So reduction, wag niyong isipin na reduction na parang nagdideduct kayo or anything. It's just reduction. No? So ibig sabihin, ang gagawin mo is pagdudugtongin mo lang yung dalawang yan using an external pressure. Okay? And that is with the help of a splint. So in medical emergency, we do splinting. Siguro common to sa, ang pinaka-common na alam ninyo is sinisementohan. Okay? But for example, nandun ka sa isang emergency and then there's a fracture, para lang anything, no? Even a set of plywood, no, pwede mong ilagay diyan. Palandalian lang, okay? Tapos babalutin mo siya ng tela para lang hindi gumalaw yung bone. Okay? So remember, the bone still has the ability to heal itself when fractured. Okay? Next, we have neurovascular compromise. For the neurovascular compromise, uh, vessels, nerve damages due to injury, then you have functional impairment. So okay lang yung mabalian ka eh. Pero kung maputulan ka ng ugat, kasi sa Tagalog, ugat is nerve and blood vessel. Pero yung pag naputulan ka ng nerve, major nerve, okay, your peroneal nerve, okay, medyo mahirap siya kasi magkakaroon ka talaga ng loss of innervation, okay, loss of sensation, and even hindi mo rin siya magagalaw masyado. Okay? So remember, in the module 1, loss of innervation to a muscle will cause atrophy. So it will even atrophy, no? So even in splinting class, so kapag nangyari, kapag hindi mo siya ginagalaw, For example, you are in a sports and then nag-aksidente ka tapos for a 6 week period you were placed on a medical management, like for example, sinementohan yung binti mo, hindi mo siya nagagalaw. Pag tinanggal mo na ngayon yung semento, mas maliit talaga siya compared dun sa normal limb. But don't worry because in time, babalik naman yan sa normal. Next, we have compartment syndrome. Compartment syndrome is a serious medical condition where there's increased pressure within a body compartment, which compromises the blood flow, the tissue function, potentially leading to a permanent damage. So for example, this is your limb again. Okay, nagkaroon ka ngayon ng, for example, this is your fracture. Remember, there are still blood vessels here. Okay, so when apart from the, of course, there's going to be swelling. Okay, inflammation kasi, no? So pagka nagkaroon ka ng swelling, malaki na yan to begin with. And then kapag nag-bleed out ka pa sa extravascular spaces mo, so mag-a-add yun sa enlargement ng isang limb. And when that happens, there's going to be compartment syndrome, parang sasabog. Okay? Compartment syndrome only happens when there's no point of exit. Kung compound fracture yan, less ang, ay saan ba? Kapag compound fracture yan, ah, like this one, there's a break in the skin, 'di ba? So yung bone lumabas diyan. So meron kang point of exit, the pressure will be relieved. However, in a closed complete fracture, there's no point of exit, no. So even the management will tell the doctor to pwedeng butasan, okay? Para lang ma-relieve yung pressure. Okay? So bone injuries are actually an emergency. If it is an open fracture, there's going to be a risk of infection. Of course, if there's infection, if there's a risk of infection, not only will you be splinted, not only will your injury be reduced, but also you will be put under antibiotics. Okay, so some fractures won't heal without treatment. So some of you may have already experienced fracture, hindi nyo lang alam. Okay? Madali lang naman malaman class kung may fracture. Kunwari nadulas ka. Pag sobrang sakit, hindi mo magalaw, fracture yan. Kasi kapag ka naman nadulas ka or nagpe-play ka ng, or you do boxing, you do tennis, particularly the tennis elbow, no? Kung wala namang trauma, kung wala namang physical inertia, no? So, physical external inertia na nag-hit sa'yo, nag-hit sa'yo, ah, usually wala namang fracture yun. Kung nagagalaw mo pa, no? Okay? But if there's severe pain, okay? Severe pain, uh, probably you can rule in fracture. So, neurovascular compromise, that's what I discussed a while ago. And dislocations are the displacement of a joint surface such that normal articulation no longer occurs. So dislocation uh, is the displacement of joints. So remember, you need to have good articulation. So this is applicable to movable joints. Remember, you have fixed joints in your skull. Hindi naman yan gumagalaw talaga. Okay? Joints are, in layman, nag-joint. No? Hindi yung joint na ano ha, yung illegal. So yung joint is something that there's a point of contact between two bones. So your fixed joints do not experience dislocation, only your movable joints. So when forces on joints are greater than stabilizing forces of a bone, ligament, and muscle, there's a probability that your joints can be dislocated. So how can you strengthen your joints? By strengthening your muscle. Okay? By strengthening your bone. Okay? So there's no actual exercise that you can strengthen your joint. The only way that you can do it is to uh, stabilize your muscle make your muscle stronger the right way. Pag nagbuhat kayo at mali ang buhat ninyo, magkakaroon kayo ng dislocation. And sa mga nagji-gym dito, you always observe proper form. Okay? Kasi meron tayong ah, target muscle na tina-target. So kung mali yung form mo, even yung simple angle lang klase, okay, hindi yun OA yung ginagawa ng ibang gym instructor na mali yung form mo, ganyan ganyan. Even a simple deviation of an angle, maling muscle yung pwede mong ma-target when you're hitting the gym. Okay? So again, so that's dislocation. So it's an emergency because the longer the delay before the reduction, the more difficult it becomes as the muscles around the joint contract. And the delay can also result in significant joint and ligament damage, impairment and function. And there's going to be a neurovascular compromise as well. Can pull, tear, compress, rupture the surrounding vessels. So dismemberment, um, dismemberment is different from amputation. Okay, so dismemberment is a loss of limb or extreme tissue loss resulting in permanent functional impairment of that limb. Uh, Dismemberment, in short, is just an act of uh, severing your limb. Okay, nagsesever ka lang ng limb. Okay, but amputation is a surgical removal. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. Surgical, medical, at meron namang reason kung bakit na-amputate. However, dismemberment is due to an accident. Okay. So factors affecting the degree of urgency. You have an abnormal airway, breathing, and circulation. So what do you mean by urgency? So how do you manage, how do you know, or how can you tell that, okay, we need to, this type of fracture is an emergency or kailangan talagang mabigyan ng immediate care. Abnormal airway, breathing, and circulation. So this usually happens in cases of a car accident wherein there's a fracture of the ribs. So your ribs, kapag ka nagkaroon ng gantong fracture, okay, nagkaroon ng fracture, there's a possibility that the sharp edges of the broken part of your bone can pierce the lungs and the heart. Okay? So when that happens, it will compromise your airway, your breathing, your circulation. Of course, bleeding, if it hit a nerve, no? Kung nag-hit siya ng nerve, ah, mahirap talaga kasi lalo na kung major artery yung na hit doon. So it will require an immediate intervention. Again, that's also your major vascular compromise. If it is an open versus a closed injury, is there going to be a neurological compromise? We're talking about here the nerves, not the brain, no? If we're talking about the limb here, okay? Pain is another, no? So, kung sobrang sakit na nung pasyente, you can give the patient or someone that you know, simpleng pain reliever lang. But of course, that's only going to mask what is the underlying cause. So again, X-ray may be needed. So potential loss of function if injury is untreated, and the basic priorities of your musculoskeletal care. Again, your primary survey. Of course, you need to preserve the life before the limb. Okay? So na-preserve mo yung limb, pagtingin mo dun sa tao, patay na, then what's the use of the limb? Okay? You identify the injury. Analgesia is another term for a pain reliever lang. No? Okay? Pain, algesia is pain. Analgesia is relieving the pain. Okay? Of course, splinting, and then you prevent infection. So you will put the patient under antibiotics. Reduction, again, restoring the alignment. So what are the benefits of reduction or splinting? Splinting reduces the pain, it reduces bleeding, promote healing, reduce the risk of further compromise such as your bone, your nerves, and your vascular function. And reduction, reduce the pain, restore function, reduce the risk of further compromise. Okay. So, ano ba? Okay. So, fractures and fracture healing. Uh, of course, there's going to be a traumatic injury. And then you can have pathologic fracture, osteolytic, osteoporotic, and bone metastatic. So there's no, hindi porke, kasi ang bone fracture does not only happen in accidents. Okay? It happens also kung the integrity of the bone is poor. Okay, so this happens in cases of a osteolytic bone metastasis, also known as a cancer. Osteoporotic, sabihin mahina, mababa ang ah, bone density ng isang pasyente. Osteolytic, osteolytic bone metastasis pala. So, meaning osteolytic, it lyses the bone, no, secondary to a cancer spreading. Okay, so hindi naman siya nag-break ng bone, but konting galaw lang. So that will now put the patient uh, in severe pain. Yun pala may fracture na. So how does the fracture heal? In 1 to 3 days, there's going to be hematoma and inflammation. So that is just a blood clot and fibrin mesh. And in 1 to 3 weeks, there's going to be a soft callus deposition of osteoid and granulation tissue. Of course, your fibroblasts will also go there. And in 1 to 2 months, there's going to be a hard callus mineralization of osteoid, which is visible in X-ray. Okay? And in more than 2 months, there's going to be a remodeling of woven bone and your lamellar bone. So uh, bone remodels in response to calcium requirements in the body and mechanical stress, physical stress, nutrition, vitamin D, age, hormones. So we will discuss this later on na importante talaga sila. Okay? So again, you remodel your bone in physical activity, but you put stress on your exercise. Okay? Kung kayo puro cardio lang, walang mangyayari sa bone ninyo. Okay? Kung kayo takbo lang ng takbo, yes, your heart may be healthy. Siyempre healthy pa rin naman yung bone, but that does not really add anything to the bone, no? You need to lift weights. So your okay. So your weightlifting na kaya nyo lang, okay? Ay kailangan ninyo 'yun kasi that will now add shear stress to the bone and that can now actually promote remodeling. Resorption, what do we mean by resorption? So resorption, please take note of this now. So there's going to be a destruction of your old bone matter by your osteoclast. Osteoclast ang responsible dyan. Diba? Going back to histology. And apposition is the deposition of a new bone matter by your osteoblasts. Your osteoblasts are your bone-forming cell. This is your bone-destroying cell. Okay? So, it doesn't mean na sinisira niya ang bone. Your osteoclast, if in normal cases, class, so if you can remember, your calcium ay may dalawa kang sources ng calcium. I know. So you can find calcium in two major spaces sa katawan, circulating at sa bone. Okay? So your circulating calcium, kapag bumaba yan, osteoclast will like eat the bone from the outside, no? So hindi naman talaga masisira yan. So it will now somehow dissolve the bone, releasing calcium. Therefore, you will now have your calcium sa blood. Right? So in short, your main storage form of your calcium is actually the bone. Next, we have clinical features for medical emergency. Yeah, if you have a risk of infection, If a compound open fracture, some requirement treatment, no heal. Some require treatment, no heal. Uh, Risk of neurovascular compromise, or ulit-ulit. Okay? And then there's what we call a crush syndrome. So the crush syndrome, there's muscle ischemia. Syndrome, halo-halo na. Okay? So ibig sabihin, it doesn't just involve one system, one body organ system. Okay? It includes a lot, no? So there's going to be a muscle ischemia. Bakit kaya may muscle ischemia? Remember, kung napanood niyo na yung module 1 na video, muscle ischemia can be what? Due from uh, decrease in oxygen supply, okay? And when there's going to be decreased oxygen supply, you're going to have hypoxia and then decreased delivery. When there's decreased delivery, it's going to make your muscles ischemic, okay? And then probably may go forward to infarct. So necrosis due to compartment syndrome, pain, swelling, inflammation, DIC. DIC is what we call a disseminated intravascular coagulation. So ibig sabihin, there's wide activation of your uh, platelets, okay, in the body. Kasi yun ang mangyayari. So the body will attempt to heal your wound. So there's going to be consumption of your platelets in an effort to heal what is going on there in your body. No. Again, DIC is disseminated intravascular coagulation. Rhabdomyolysis, muscle wasting lang to. Okay? So, rhabdomyolysis is when it nangyayari in cases of an accident. The best example that I can give here is during a hazing injury. Yung mga pinapaddle ng mga fraternity. So, anong nangyayari kasi doon, sobrang laki nung lamog kasi paddle eh. Ikaw ba mapaddle ka sa puwet tsaka sa hita, no? So the you can see a lot of muscles in your gluteal area and your thigh area, in your back area as well. So mamamatay yung muscle, releasing your myoglobin. Okay? So minsan na yung na-hazing, mangyayari is parang wala lang. But then, myoglobin is like uh, a sister of hemoglobin. So that will make the patient excrete red urine and eventually it will shut down. No? So the treatment, either open or close reduction, immobilization, splint, casting, rod pins, brace, etc. And then you have to give the patient analgesia and then rest and then do some physiologic exercises. Of course, you also have your fracture. So you can see here, transverse. Teka lang, lipat ako ng screen. Okay, for the fracture, we have transverse fracture. Okay, so when you speak of transverse fracture, so from the word itself, transverse view. So this is your bone. Ito yung nag-break siya sa dalawa. So there's an open side here. No, sides here. No, so dalawa dito, dalawa dito. Naghiwalay talaga yung bone. Okay? Next, you have your spiral fracture. Isasama ko na si oblique fracture, no? In spiral fracture, padiagonal, oblique muna. So in oblique fracture, you can see here that there's a bone here and then yung fracture niya pa ganyan, pa diagonal. Hindi siya ganito, hindi siya transverse. Okay? Kaya nga kaya nga oblique eh. But when it comes to spiral, umikot. So there's twisting of the bone. Okay? So yun ang pangit. Kasi ah paano mo i-ano yan, tapos hindi naman pala siya ano, open fracture. Kasi kung ano yan eh, kung open fracture yan, madali lang iikot yung buto. Pero pagka ganyan, hihiwain mo talaga kasi kailangan mo i-realign eh. Okay? Kailangan mo siya i-realign and then you do reduction kung ano man, pwedeng bakalan. Okay? So like for example dito, may space na dito, kailangan talaga siya class bakalan dito. No? May bakal dyan. Okay? Para pagdidikitin niya yung dalawa. Para mag-heal. Hindi pwedeng mag-heal ng may space, syempre. No? Hindi pwedeng mag-heal ng may space. Kung may space yan, kakainin lang. Wala na to. No? Wala na tong kwenta. No? So, ano yung buto mo? Ganyan. So, kailangan niya mag-dikit. Okay? So, that's spiral. That's oblique. Next is your linear. So, linear fracture, straight, clear break along the bone. So, for example, this is your bone. Ganyan lang yung fracture niya. Clean lang. Okay? So, almost hindi na siya makita. Okay? Tapos, pero may fracture siya. No? Yan minsan yung hindi nakikita sa x-ray. So, minsan di ko rin siya nakikita. Lalo na kung hairline fracture yung, ano, yung fracture ng isang pasyente. No? It's really hard to see. Next, we have your impacted, sorry, incomplete. Okay? Incomplete fracture. Incomplete fracture is parang ganito siya. Ayan lang, no? Nandiyan lang yung fracture mo. Hindi siya tumago sa kabila. Okay? Class, this is an example of a transverse complete fracture. Kasi buong bone, no? Buong bone ang nahiwa. So again, this is also an example of a complete oblique fracture kasi buong bone mo yung nahiwalay. Pero kung hindi siya ganto, ay hindi siya kagaya ng ganto, nagkaroon ka lang ng konting break dyan, pero hindi tumago sa kabila, then that's incomplete. So kung yung drawing ko, ganto, kunwari sa quiz, no? Ganto yung drawing ko, tas ganyan yung break mo. So that is an incomplete transverse fracture. Okay? Next, we have, sorry, green stick and incomplete, they're almost the same. Okay? They're almost the same. Wala namang ano, specific type of incomplete fracture lang siya. Okay? So you can say that it's complete, an incomplete, an incomplete or a green stick fracture. Next, we have your comminuted, sorry, comminuted. Okay, so this is your bone. So yung nagkaroon ka ng crash injury, hindi naghiwalay, nagkaroon pa ng durug-durug. No? So naghiwa-hiwalay. Hindi ko na alam kung paano i-manage yun. So bale parang kailangan na ng ortho dyan, no? So nagsabog-sabog na yung bones mo. Okay? And then you have your compound fracture. So mangyayari, there's also a break in the skin here. Okay? So tumago siya dito. Okay? So that's your compound fracture. Okay, so now we have arthropathies. Okay? Or ba ilang class? Wait lang. Okay, for arthropathies, arthropathy is an umbrella term. So anything that affects your joint, whether if it is an arthritis, an infection, a cancer, that's just arthropathies. For now, in our module, we will discuss arthritis lang. Okay? And the most common is your crystal arthropathy or what we call a gouty arthritis. Okay? Gouty arthritis is a form of a joint inflammation wherein you have an increased serum uric acid na nag-spill over sa may synovial spaces mo, causing pain, okay? Causing pain probably due to the formation of your uric acid crystals deposition, okay? And basically, ang cause nito is anything increase in urea production or decrease urea excretion. Okay? So, secondary causes like renal failure, thiazides, hypothyroidism, hemolysis, and obesity. So, kailangan natin to explain ng maayos, no? So, your gouty arthritis, usually makikita yan sa blood. Muna, no? You first investigate the blood for your blood uric acid. Okay? Kasi usually, blood muna ang tataas si bago si synovial fluid. Okay? And uric acid, saan ba nanggaling ang uric acid? Okay? Uric acid is produced purine from purines, okay? So your purines can be from what? From where? From meat, okay? And then pwede ding mga laman loob. Ano bang laman loob? Like for example, anything na organs, tama. Kapag kumakain ka ng organs and then beans. Ngayon, there's naglabas na kasi ang Philippine Society of Rheuma na hindi naman daw nakakataas ng uric acid ang munggo. Hindi rin nakakataas din ng uric acid ang mga buto ng pakwan. Okay? But it's a known fact that beer will always increase your uric acid. It's just a matter kung paano mo siya i-excrete. Okay? So again, going back here, you ate high purine meal. So your purines na kinonsume mo will be converted to hypoxanthine and will be converted to xanthine. Okay? So hypoxanthine and then xanthine through the enzyme xanthine oxidase. Okay? So dietary sources include your food rich in nucleic acid. Yun nga, tapos organs, meat, seafood, and then legumes. Okay? So, also, pwedeng siyang manggaling sa isang normal cell turnover. So, when your cells died, okay? So, when your cells die, ang mangyayari noon, yung byproduct na mag-release siya ng mga nucleic acids. So, magpo-form siya ng uric acid. Okay? So, there's going to be a breakdown of purines from normal cell turnover. Okay? And then, yung excretion nito, 2/3 ay from the kidney. And then 1/3 ay may excrete sa GI tract. Okay? So, in a normal person, there's no problem here. Okay? However, there's going to be a problem kapag ka nag-overproduce ka ng uric acid. Okay? So in cases of hyperuricemia, there's an increased serum uric acid. Again, serum uric acid of more than 6.8 milligram per deciliter. Okay? So this can be due to what? Overproduction or under excretion. Okay? So overproduction kasi ang dami mong kinain, or under excretion kasi may problema ka sa kidney tapos sa GI tract. Okay? May problema ka sa kidneys at sa GI tract. So there's going to be a problem kapag ka ikaw ay nag-binge drinking, kahit alam mo nang ikaw ay mataas ang uric acid. Kaya yung mga tatay natin, no? So, minsan, susuka, tapos minsan paggising ang sakit ng katawan, sakit ng tuhod, no? So, because beer is a high source of your uric acid. Okay, so an example of overproduction, okay, an example of an overproduction includes increased protein diet, purine pala, urine diet, and then increase din ang cell turnover mo, and then enzyme defects. Ito ang mahirap enzyme defects. Okay? So, in cases of purine diet, okay, there's going to be an increase in production. But in cases of cell turnover, kailan nangyayari to? Kapag merong cancer ang pasyente undergoing chemotherapy. Mataas ang uric acid niyan. Remember, cancer cells are an abnormal cells. No, cancer cells are abnormal cells, okay, na hindi natin kailangan. Therefore, in cases of chemotherapy, we target them, then they die. Side effect, tataas ang iyong purine released from cells, tataas ang iyong xanthine, okay? And then that's going to be cause of your hyperuricemia. Okay? However, here sa enzyme defects, there's what we call a Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. Again, Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. Okay, in Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, it is classified as an inherited sex-linked recessive disease. Okay? There is a massive excretion of your urinary acid crystals. Okay? Ano bang cause nito? Because there's a failure to inherit the gene, gene for producing a certain enzyme. Okay? And that enzyme is your, medyo mahaba, hypoxanthine guanosine uridyl, hindi pala uridyl. Hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase. Also known as your HGPRT, okay, gene. Okay? So this is an enzyme, ang wala kang gene ay yung nagpo-produce nito. Therefore, you lack the HGPRT gene, no? To produce your HGPRT, which is an enzyme. Okay? So, it is clinically, it presents as a severe motor defects, okay? Then you have intellectual disability. And then you have a tendency for self-destruction. Okay? And then you have gout, renal calculi, and then you have, ayun lang, no? So hindi ko alam kung paano nag-manifest yung tendency for self-destruction. Siguro nagko-commit ng suicide yung mga pasyente. Okay? But um, pag pinanganak kasi, remember this is deficiency in enzyme. Okay, so unfortunately, in newborn screening, hindi ito kasi siniskin kasi hindi siya common. Okay, in newborn screening, you screened for PKU, phenylketonuria, you screen for G6PD, you screen for thyroid function, pero hindi ka nagsiskin ng HGPRT deficiency. Okay, so therefore, the baby may come out as normal. Newborn screening is normal, and the baby can be normal within 6 to 8 months. Okay? However, the most common presentation nito is pag napansin ng nanay, parang merong orange sand doon sa diaper. Okay? That's your Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. That is the pathognomonic feature, which is an orange sand uh, um, looking material being excreted in the diaper. Okay? So, for under excretion naman, for under excretion, you may have a chronic disease, okay? Particularly chronic kidney disease. Of course, your kidneys are the ones, remember, two-thirds nag-excrete ng iyong uric acid. So when you have a chronic disease, ano bang pasyente dito? Nagda-dialysis na, di ba? Particularly CKD stage 5. Okay? So, in stage 5, nagda-dialysis na yung pasyente. The treatment for that is renal transplant na lang. So, that happens kapag uh, hypertensive yung pasyente or diabetic yung pasyente, yung sugar nagfo-flow out sa filtration ng glomerulus causing damage dun sa glomerulus. Therefore, non-selective na yung kanyang pag-excrete ng mga waste products. Even protein will come out causing edema. Okay? So that does not exclude uric acid. Kasi kung yung protein nga lumalabas yung uric acid pa kaya. Okay? So in under excretion, you have this can be seen in chronic kidney diseases and in medications such as your thiazide medication. Thiazide, low dose aspirin, and then cyclosporine. Sorry. Cyclosporine. Okay? Cyclosporine. Okay? So the consequences ay, of course, you will have gout, kidney stone, and then urate nephropathy. Okay? So ang nephropathy mo sa hyperuricemia ay urate nephropathy. Ang nephropathy mo sa diabetes ay diabetic nephropathy. Ang nephropathy mo sa high blood is hypertensive nephropathy. So all of those three can lead to renal damage causing a CKD stage 5. Okay? And that will warrant dialysis. Next, ano ba ang, so paano po ito, Doc, no? Mataas yung uric acid ko. Okay, pero ah pero bata pa po ako eh, no? Hindi pa po ako matanda, pero mataas po yung uric acid ko. Common 'yun. Okay, so I've seen a lot of those, and when being tested dun sa blood, normal. Okay? So that is why may tao talaga na may predilection for lalo na kung genetic, no, na mataas ang uric acid nila and then minsan magno-normal sa blood. Pero pag tinest mo yung synovial fluid, nandun napunta lahat ng kanilang mga uric acid crystal. Okay? But most of the time, blood muna ang tataas. Okay? Most of the time, serum blood uric acid will first go up before the synovial fluid concentration of uric acid. Okay, so how do you manage? Okay, so we have here colchicine, 500 microgram. So this can be used in acute attacks only. Okay? In acute attacks only. So ibig sabihin, kapag ka nag-flare ang iyong uric acid, you can only use colchicine 500 microgram. Okay? However, kapag ka stable na, no, stable na yung pasyente, hindi na siya masakit, wala nang masakit sa kanya, then you can now use allopurinol or febuxostat. Febuxo. Febuxostat. Okay? And this is allopurinol. Okay? So these two meds are used for the maintenance para hindi tumaas ang inyong blood uric acid. But in acute cases, you will use colchicine. It causes diarrhea. Yun nga lang yung colchicine, no? So kaya binago na yung management dyan. 3 times a day na lang. Dati talaga nagtatai talaga yung pasyente, no? Pag nagtai yung pasyente, good sign na yon na nagbabawas na ng uric acid yung pasyente. Okay? Next, we have here, so pathogenesis. There's derangement in purine metabolism, hyperuricemia. Therefore, you will form your monosodium urate crystal deposition in joint tissue, forms tophi, and chronic inflammation of your destruction. Therefore, destruction of the tissue. Class, okay lang class na mataas ang uric acid mo. Magagawa ng paraan yan kahit sa joints. Pero these are crystals. These crystals may tend to form a stone. Okay? So therefore, yung uric acid mo napunta sa kidney, pwede kang mag-form ng kidney stone. Ang pangit tingnan is yung pag nag-form siya ng stone dun sa synovial spaces mo, causing what we call atophy. Kasi, for example, this is your hand, no, this is your finger. So, ang hilig niya talaga dito, no, sa mga maliliit na part. So, this will now cause immobility dito kasi nag-form kasi meron kang bato dun sa joint mo. Okay? Kapag may bato ka sa joint mo, what happens? So, malilimit ang range of motion mo. Okay? But macroscopically speaking, pagtingin mo sa pasyente, usually sa male, okay, there's a red hot swollen joints typically in the first metatarsophalangeal joints of the hands or sa feet. Ay sorry, metatarso ay sa paa. Okay? Tapos sa hands kahit saan, no? Kahit saang joints, okay? The first metatarsophalangeal joints of your paa, okay? And usually sa hands. Okay? If not managed properly, you can have a gouty tophi. Okay? Next, we have here a clinical feature, typically males of more than 45 years old, and recurrent severely painful episodes of acute arthritis, typically lower extremities. Yung nga sabi ko na first MTP joint can also affect the hands and they may mimic cellulitis. Class cellulitis is a swelling of your soft tissues. Okay? So, para siyang namamaga. Okay? Well, actually, namamaga talaga siya. Okay? So, ang acute gouty arthritis, they may mimic cellulitis, but cellulitis will have decreased range of motion. Cellulitis will have a normal range of motion, but your acute gouty arthritis will have a decreased ROM. Kasi bakit? Cellulitis does not affect the joint. Okay? It only affects the soft tissues. Wherein acute gouty arthritis or even a tophi, Gouty tophi, nagsisettle kasi yun sa joints, therefore you will have a decreased range of motion. Gouty tophi, there's a urate deposition in joints, cartilage, bursa, and soft tissues. Again, common sites, first MTP, tendon, insertions, pressure points, painless, pero decreased ROM. Ang cellulitis, painful, with a normal ROM. Okay? So, painless, decreased ROM, normal, with, cellulitis, normal, pero painful. Okay? So, effects on the kidney, you have a uric acid stones, you have urate nephropathy, and the clinical diagnosis naman dito usually, clinical diagnosis lang to. No? But if hindi talaga makapag-decide yung doctor, you may need to have a joint aspirate and microscopy wherein you will see a needle-shaped monosodium urate crystals. Class, remember, needle shape. Pag kayo natusok ng karayom, masakit, diba? Therefore, ganun din yung nangyayari sa joints ng inyong katawan kapag ka nagkaroon ka ng uric acid crystals na nag-deposit doon. Okay? So, clinical diagnosis siya, pero magjo-joint aspirate tayo kasi nga minsan mas mataas ang concentration ng uric acid sa joints kaysa sa blood. So, the best way for it na lang is to, kung kumuha ka ng synovial fluid, no, you put it under the microscope. Okay? So, you have here colchicine, acute relief, allopurinol, okay? And then you have here NSAIDs, corticosteroids, and then lifestyle change for the treatment. NSAIDs are also known as your non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. Again, I repeat, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So this includes your, again non-steroidal, hindi steroid. Okay, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. So this will, tawag dito, this includes your celecoxib, your paracetamol, your ibuprofen, your naproxen, your ketoprofen, your ketorolac, no? Ano pa ba? Basta yung mga ganon, your tramadol, no? So, ibig sabihin, these are pain relievers that does not contain any steroids. So, therefore, it will not affect your immunity. May naka-listen na ba ng module 1 dito? O wala pa? Kasi, if going back to my discussion on module 1, steroids will decrease your immune system, rendering you immunocompromised. Okay? However, nadidiscover ng mga pasyente yung steroids. Okay? Ito pinakaayoko sa lahat eh, no? Kasi nga, piso lang, tapos miracle drug talaga siya, no? So, ang mangyayari kasi, if you take steroids, tanggal, no? Panis yung ano mo, kahit gaano pa kalala yung pain mo, panis yan sa steroids, okay? However, the downside effect to this is that it will uh, impair your immune system, pero there's now a trend, no, that patients who discover steroids develop anemia. Bakit? Because steroids, sorry, damages your gastric lining. Wait lang kasa. So when it damage your gastric lining, there's going to be ulceration, and there's going to be bleeding. Bleeding will manifest as bababa ang BP ng pasyente, magiging pale ang kanyang sclera, sclera, ipiyok na ako, no? So, BP, pale sclera, and then, of course, you will have melena. Melena is black stool. Dumudumi ng itim yung pasyente. Bakit? Because the blood here in the gastric lining, kasi nag-bleed eh, nag-ulcerate, no? So pagka bumaba yan ngayon sa bituka mo, na-oxidate siya, nagiging Betamax yung kulay niya. Nakakita na kayo na Betamax. Di ba itim? So ngayon, uh, you will now defecate black stools. Okay? So not only will you manage hyperuricemia, gouty arthritis, and then tophi, but the patient will also be assessed for anemia, no? Imamanage niyo yung sasalina na naman ng dugo, tapos pupunta pa ng endo, tapos yung lining ng stomach, no, papagalingin, bibigyan ng mucosa, no. So anemia is not actually related to uh, gouty arthritis. Pero due to the patient's behavior, kasi na-discover nila ang corticosteroid, nagko-connect yung dalawa. Okay? So walang direct effect ang steroid with anemia, yung gouty arthritis with anemia. However, due to the behavior of the patient, nagkakaroon ka ngayon ng link between the two. Okay, so osteoarthritis. Okay, osteoarthritis naman tayo. Class osteoarthritis is degenerative. Okay? So sakit to ng matanda. So masakit yung tuhod ko, masakit yung bewang ko. Okay? Masakit yung aking siko, masakit yung aking balikat, masakit yung paa ko, no? So probably those are degenerating joints already in the bones. So this is a wear and tear kung hindi kayo maingat. Like for example, yung mga naglaland from a parachute, no? Yung paglanding nila doon sa lupa kasi may pressure pa din yun eh, no? So it causes damage, micro damage nung bata pa sila. So pag tumanda sila, doon nila mararamdaman yung sakit. So kung kayo ay ah, into contact sports, so medyo magdahan-dahan kayo, no? Because when you grow old, pwede mag-suffer yan. Kaya nga dapat, when you do something like in the gym, so doing sports, you observe proper form. You execute each movements correctly para hindi madamage ang inyong joints. Okay? So it's mechanical, then inflammatory. So cartilage hydration decreases with age. Tama. So mechanical muna siya and then nagiging inflammatory siya. Bakit? The cartilage, natutuyo ang inyong cartilage sa mga joints ninyo. Therefore, kasi nagde-decrease siya when you grow old, you have a less resistant to friction, cartilage erosion, and then exposure of the bone, grinding, mechanical damage, and inflammation. Ganito lang yan, no? Para hindi na kayo mahirapan. So this is your knee kunwari. Okay, so nandun yung patella mo. And then ngayon, may fluid ka dyan. So yung fluid dyan, siya yung nag-lubricate between the two. Okay? Between the two bones. Therefore, ano mangyayari? Swabe lang, no? So nag-glide lang siya. However, in cases of aging, natutuyo siya, so walang lubricant. So anong nangyayari? Nagkikiskisan ngayon tong dalawang bone. Okay? Second cause, overweight ka. Okay? If you are an overweight right now at wala kang nararamdaman sa tuhod mo, wait till you no. Wait till you grow old, no. Kasi overweight will put stress on the joints here kasi mas mataas than normal yung kanilang binubuhat. Okay? So hindi ka nga into sports, ang bigat naman nung upper weight mo. Okay? So therefore, magkakaroon ng damage between the two. So pwedeng mapaaga ang osteoporosis mo kasi nagwe-wear and tear siya. No? So again, uh, that's your osteoarthritis. So morphology, there's eburnation of the bone, shiny, thickened, hardened bone. And then you have here cartilage degeneration, peripheral osteophytes, joint lipping, new bone formation around the edge. And this is typically seen in patients over 40 years old. Okay? Enlarged weight-bearing joints, knee, spine, okay? And the pain worsen with activity and cold weather. Pain is better with rest. You have a joint instability. So, ibig sabihin, pwedeng mag-subluxate yan or mag-luxate yan. And then you have a crepitus, no? Crepitus yung tunog. Okay? Crepitus, sinulat ko yun. Okay, crepitus. Hindi ko na mahanap. Anyway, so crepitus is the sound being produced, okay? Sound being produced kapag naglalakad ka, no? Between the movement, by the movement between the two joints, you can hear something na tumatagos sa laman yung sound, no? So that's crepitus. Okay? Of course, there's going to be decreased range of motion with muscle wasting. You have a bony overgrowths, nodules like your Bouchard's nodes in your PIP joints and your Heberden nodes in your DIP joints and then your bunions in your toes. Okay, so ano ba yung feature ng isang osteoarthritis? Okay? So yung Bouchard's nodes is actually and Heberden nodes, pareho lang yan na nodes. Ewan ko ba kung ba't di pa nag-usap yung dalawa si Bouchard at si Heberden pag-isahin na lang, no? Siyempre gusto nila na mauna sila, no? So si Bouchard ay makikita sa proximal interphalangeal joint. So that's your PIP. Again, your Bouchard's nodes can be seen in the PIP, in the proximal interphalangeal joints, and your Heberden's nodes are seen in your distal interphalangeal joints or sa toes mo, yung bunion na tinatawag natin. Okay, yung parang may bilog dun, no, na bilog, hindi butas, I mean parang bola. Okay? So blood chem, you have a normal blood test. For example, your uric acid, okay? Normal sila. Okay? When you do X-ray, you will see narrowing of joint spaces, and joint lipping, ankylosis, and varus deformity. Pike lang yung varus deformity na tinatawag natin. Parang pike or sakang. Okay? Then you have here simple analgesia treatment. Pwedeng Panadol, pwedeng paracetamol, surgery, joint replacement. Nako, mahirap to, no? And you maintain physical activity. So please, I encourage everyone, no, to always stand up, walk, kung kaya naman lakarin. Kasi madaming natutulong ang lakad, no? So, when I was young, no, I'm joining, sumasali pa ako sa mga palarong pambansa noon, yung pagtakbo, no. Pero syempre matanda na ako, ay hindi na ako sumasalo sa mga ganyan, no. But now there's a trend, no, na parang dumadami yata ang tumatakbo ngayon using, Strava or I'm not familiar with that, no. So, of course, kung ano man 'yon, whatever that is, no. So it's good, no. At least medyo nadadivert na yung hobby ng mga tao ngayon from social media to actual moving. Because, I don't know if you heard this from anywhere, because sitting is the new smoking. Okay? Again, so sitting is the new smoking. The more you sit, the higher the risk for a cardiovascular disease. Okay? So, the risk of smoking is now less than the risk of just sitting all day. Okay? So, again, going back, that's your osteoarthritis. Next, we have your rheumatoid arthritis, or what we call a seropositive arthritis. This is the most common. This is a genetic autoimmune disease. And due to the gene of your HLA-DR4 and your DR1, and you produce a rheumatoid factor, which is an anti-IgG antibody. Okay? Therefore, it's autoimmune, there's macrophage-mediated local joint inflammation and destruction. Parang ang ironic, no? Anti-IgG is already an antibody. Then again, you develop an antibody against it. Yes, that's your rheumatoid factor. Okay? You develop an antibody targeting your another antibody, which is your IgG. Naririnig nyo lang kasi that the antibody will target an antigen, but an antibody targeting another antibody is very common. Okay? You will learn that in your third year in your serology. And then, for morphology, there's going to be an erosion of the articular cartilage down to the bone, and then what we call a Panus formation. There's inflamed, thickened, hyperplastic synovium fluid with papillary projection. Okay? So septic arthritis, there's a joint infection here. Okay, there's a joint infection. Okay. So common cause ay Neisseria gonorrhea, Staphylococcus aureus, and other less common. So the most common route ay hematogenous, direct from adjacent tissue or iatrogenic. Pansin nyo, Neisseria gonorrhea, di ba tulo yan? Yan ang cause ng tulo. Okay? So that is why in cases of a septic arthritis, okay, nagtatanong kami, tinetest din namin ng VDRL, RPR for syphilis. Okay? Tinetest din namin for gram stain. Sorry. Tinetest din namin for gram stain for possible diplococci. ah Kasi baka merong tulo yung pasyente, hindi niya lang sinasabi. Okay? Na-reveal naman kasi nagkaroon siya ng septic arthritis. Okay? If gonococcal, okay, preceding bacteremia with maculopapular vesicular skin lesion and migrating polyarthritis. So, palipat-lipat yung arthritis mo. But it will settle to a big joint, no? Showing a monoarthritis, typically the knee. But the elbow is not, no, is not uncommon. Minsan elbow din. Minsan sa hip joint mo din. Okay? So this is a typically a severe monoarthritis, joint often held in slight flexion to decrease the pain. So ibig sabihin, makikita mo na yung pasyente naka-bend yung siko, naka-bend yung tuhod kasi doon hindi masakit. Okay? So there's swelling, there's redness, there's hotness or rubor, there's tumor, and then this swelling tumor, no? Tapos ito rin. And then you have a decreased range of motion due to pain. Of course, this is an infection. Okay? Therefore, you will have fever. Therefore, you will have weakness. Okay? So, Doc, can you also have fever in gouty arthritis? Kasi by the rule, class, if it is something foreign, if it is bacteria, if it is viral, pwede ka kasi magkaroon ng fever. So, minsan pag yung pasyente may lagnat, do not think of anything else. Infection na yan, no? So, however, in acute gouty arthritis, the pain is so severe, the inflammation is so severe that they also develop fever. Okay? So, fever is not uncommon to a gouty arthritis, but it is very common to a septic arthritis because it is an infection caused by your Neisseria gonorrhea. Okay? So, you may show signs of acute sepsis, fever, chills, dehydration, and lethargy. And then you have, for you to test this, of course, you have a joint aspirate, you have a microbial culture study. Okay, you will see for crystals, and then gram stain mo siya. And then of course, CBC will show increase in WBC, your acute inflammatory markers or ESR, your erythrocyte sedimentation rate. What's CRP? Can anyone tell me what's CRP for inflammation? Chat lang kung may sinong may alam. Ay, PMTP1 to, no? So this is C-reactive protein. So these are two, plus tandaan nyo lahat ng sinasabi ko kasi lahat ito related sa third year, second year major subject. Okay? So anyway, so your erythrocyte sedimentation rate and your C-reactive protein are your markers for inflammation. Okay? You also do endocervical urethral swab. Of course, kung tulo ito, you do a swabbing doon sa vagina or doon sa may penile discharge ng pasyente. And then you test for urine PCR, na hindi naman common to, no, for gonococcal, no? So, anyway, if you have a gonorrhea or if you have actually a septic gonorrhea, septic arthritis secondary to gonorrhea, your treatment will be azithromycin, ceftriaxone, or doxycycline. But I am a fan of ceftriaxone, yun lang ang binibigay ko. Kasi simot lahat eh, no? Simot talaga lahat, no? So if staphylococcus naman, ang penicillin base, okay? Ang penicillin ang ibibigay mo, pwede din penicillin pero ang penicillin ang binibigay. And then you also have your macrolides, erythromycin or vancomycin. Of course, vancomycin is more potent than erythromycin. So kapag ka nagkaroon tayo ng drug ng bacteria which are resistant to this one, patay na, no? Patay na tayo, no? Of course, vancomycin and ceftriaxone, pain management, and then you do arthroscopy for aspiration and washout. Of course, you need to do washout. Kung may nana-class ang inyong tuhod, kagaya lang din ng may nana sa ngipin, ano mangyari? Masakit at kinakain ng nana yung buto. That is why in cases of osteomyelitis, there's bone degradation. Okay, so you do not want to uh, remove, you do not want to to make the nana stay longer. Okay? Okay. Then we have uh, surgical debridement, joint replacement. Okay, pag malala na talaga. And then do not use intra-articular steroids because steroids can actually destroy the bone. Okay? This can actually destroy the bone. So, uh, bakit? Kasi steroids, kasi this is an infection. Plus, you do not want to use steroids in infection pala. Okay? Kasi infected ka na, papababain mo pa ang ano mo, immune system mo. Eh di wala na, no? So you can only use intra-articular steroids in cases of osteoarthritis, a frozen shoulder, carpal tunnel syndrome, yung mga ganun, no? But you do not want to use steroids in a case of an infection kasi lalong mai-impair ang movement ng WBC mo. Akala mo wala na, no? So, yun pala, nananalo na yung bacteria. Complications, you have a vascular necrosis of the femoral head, you have an intra-articular pressure due to the pus, and then cartilage epiphyseal destruction, and then osteomyelitis under your bone infection. So we have here your degenerative bone diseases, your osteoporosis. Dapat pala nandito to, no? Anyway, basta please remember that degenerative osteoporosis and degenerative din ang inyong osteoarthritis. Okay? So for World Health Organization definition of your osteoporosis, an osteoporosis will have a bone mineral density of negative 2.5 standards below the mean BMD, and then osteopenia will have a bone mineral density of between negative 1 and negative 2.5 standards below the mean BMD. Sinama ko lang yan. Pero hindi ko talaga yan masyado gamay, no? Basta yan yung classification ng WHO for osteoporosis and your osteopenia. Kasi pareho almost yung dalawa. Okay? Para siyang ischemia and hypoxia. Anong mas malala? 'Di ba ischemia? Ang hypoxia hindi. Pero dito, ang mas malala osteoporosis and then osteopenia. So ibig sabihin, this will only demarcate kung saan napapunta yung pasyente. Osteopenic ba to o osteoporotic ba to? So ito yung cut-off nila. Okay? Pag osteopenical, you have a less than 1 and 2.5 standards below. Pero pag density of 2.5, okay, that's your osteoporosis na. So between less than negative 1 and 2.5. Okay. So medyo mahaba, no, class, sorry class. So we have here your types. Type 1, you have your postmenopausal osteoporosis. Okay, and type 2, your senile osteoporosis. Senile, matanda. Postmenopausal, babae. Type 1, babae lang. Type 2, babae lang ba tumatanda? Lalaki din, di ba? So, both male and female ang type 2. Because this is senile. Okay? So, mhm. Sige. So, when a woman enters the menopausal age, there's going to be a decrease in estrogen. Okay? Therefore, decrease in estrogen will now uh, increase your osteoclastic activity. And what does the osteoclast do? It decreases your bone mineral density because it is an osteolytic bone destroying cell. Okay? Therefore, ang side effect, mataas ang iyong serum calcium. Okay? Pero, ang ano kasi dito, uh, when you have a decrease in estrogen at talagang nagme-menopause na, the woman can be placed under hormone replacement therapy, HRT. So, bibigyan mo na ng estrogen replacement. Oral na to, no, iniinom na to. Pills, okay? So, kasi minsan hindi masyadong malala ang ano postmenopausal syndrome. Like your hot flushing, tumataas ang BP, masakit ang ulo, hindi kinakaya ng babae. So, therefore, it will be put under hormone replacement therapy under estrogen. Okay? So that is why also, class, particularly the girls here, please listen. Yung commercial ng Anlin, yung gatas, ah ini-emphasize nila yung bone banking years. Okay? Kapag ikaw ay bata-bata pa, uminom ka na ng madaming gatas, you take your calcium supplement, but also do some weight exercises because that will strengthen the bone. Kasi pag ikaw tumanda na, wala ka ng estrogen, kahit na gaano pa kadami ang inom ng gatas, hindi ka mananalo sa activity ni osteoclast. Okay? So that is why patients who are senior citizens, particularly 70 to 80 no, or higher pa, no? So, si nanay nagdilig na dulas. Ano nangyari? Nagkaroon siya ng hip fracture. Femoral neck fracture ang pinaka-common na fracture ng isang senior citizen. So, nagbe-break ito. Okay, sige. Lagyan natin ng bakal. Pag linagyan ng bakal yan, saan kakapit yung bakal? Mababa na nga ang mineralization nitong dalawang to. Okay? Sige, edi pagdikitin. Sorry. So, edi pagdikitin natin. No? Pag pinagdikit mo naman yan, ah hindi din maganda kasi the healing will consume a lot of calories. Okay? The healing process will consume a lot of calories. Kung kayo bata-bata kayo nabalian na kayo ng buto, kaya nyo. Pero pag ang senior citizen nabalian ng buto, hindi nila kaya yan. The healing itself will drain the light and the life out of them. No? So therefore, eventually the patient will die na lang talaga. No? Yung simpleng dulas, no, ang lakas-lakas nga po ng nanay ko, hindi po yan hindi po yan sakitin, no. Nadulas, patay. Okay? So, type 2, that's your postmenopausal. Yung sinasabi ko kanina, ano ba to? Yung sinasabi ko kanina, that's senile osteoporosis, okay? Na pwede ring mangyari, yung fracture femoral neck, na pwede ring mangyari in cases of a type 1 osteoporosis. Okay? Then you have your secondary causes like your Cushing's, your myeloma, your malnutrition, your drugs or alcohol, your immobility. Okay? Pathogenesis, increased osteoclast, decreased osteoblast function, imbalance, increased bone resorption, decreased bone mass, and mineral density. So when you look at them, there's going to be trabecula are thinner and fewer than normal. And then symptoms are often asymptomatic until fracture. Okay? Iniisip ko kasi ba hindi talaga 'to kakayanin class ng ano, eh, ng time natin. Okay, going back, we have here, secondary causes nga 'no, sinabi ko you have, endocrine, Cushing's, increased parathyroid hormone, myeloma, and the likes, and then asymptomatic until fracture. 'Yun ang sinasabi ko 'no. So minsan, ah, hindi talaga nakakaramdam yung pasyente na osteoporotic siya hanggang sa nabalian na lang siya 'no. So hanggang walang pain, hanggang may pain na lang 'no. So ini-enjoy niya yung buhay niya na akala niya okey siya, namamalengke siya, then nadulas, dun lang talaga nalaman ng osteoporotic na yung isang tao. So fragility fractures, fractures from minimal trauma like from standing height, relative risk doubles with every one standard deviation below the mean, and we have what we call a vertebral compression fracture can uh, include your spinal cord compression, cauda equina syndrome. Okay. Then we have here your plain X-ray investigation. Okay, your dual energy X-ray absorptiometry, and then your bone mineral density scan. Okay. Then essential dito yung lumbar spine and the hip kasi sila talaga yung common. And then optional mo yung forearm. And then again, your T-score, patient's BMD versus young normal, used only for post-menopausal women, ang T-score. But your Z-score, BMD versus age match mean BMD, used only for people less than 50 years old, premenopausal women, and children. Of course, you will understand also the underlying cause, no? ESR, vitamin D level, parathyroid hormone level, TSH level, and then you have here treatment and prevention, which includes your bisphosphonates, okay? Like your alendronate, Fosamax, risedronate, which is a monthly dose. Ang hirap nito class kasi ang side effect, I used to give alendronate before kasi nakipag-partnership yung pharma company sa amin. The patients were given alendronate. Nalaman ko 1 year na pala sila naka-alendronate. Okay? Kasi once a month lang. And then yung chest pain talaga, no? So they are afraid that they were having a heart attack. Okay? So alendronate is mahirap talaga siya i-manage din kasi hindi na umuulit yung pasyente. Okay? Kasi nga nagja-chest pain. Okay? So strontium stimulates calcium deposition and inhibits bone resorption. Then you have your hormonal replacement, your selective estrogen. Alam ko na kung bakit nagaganto yung screen ko, basa na ng pawis. Okay, your selective estrogen receptor modulator, like your raloxifene and your uh, pwedeng mag-hormone replacement therapy, your over-the-counter supplements for calcium and vitamin D, your occupational factors, okay, reduce the fall risk and weight and decrease in weight bearing exercises. Okay. Next, we have here your osteomyelitis. Osteo is bone, myo ay muscle, itis, inflammation. So lahat ng may itis kayong mababasa, that's an inflammation. Okay? Acute gastritis, meningitis, okay? Acute gouty arthritis. Okay? So those are inflammation. Okay? Inflammation or infection. Basta anything that stimulates your immune system out of control, pwedeng infection, inflammation, mag-end ng itis. Okay? So it's a bone infection, could be viral fungal or bacterial, pero pinaka-common kasi dito is your Staph aureus na cause, no? So, Pseudomonas is iatrogenic, meaning this is the fault of a health worker. Siguro nag-operate sila in an unsterile operating room. Pseudomonas was introduced, okay? So, therefore, the patient had an osteomyelitis secondary to Pseudomonas. And then you have H. influenza for children. You will see here a macroscopic appearance. There's a local swelling and redness, and then medullary inflammation and edema. Okay? History, history of infection at another site, direct trauma to the area, and local tenderness and swelling, heat at the metaphysis and decreased range of motions, which you have a signs of acute sepsis, fever, chills, dehydration, and lethargy. So, ibig sabihin, class, may nana yung boto. Okay? May nana ang boto, and then affected yung muscle. So, there's an infection of the bone and the muscle. Okay? Hence, you have what we call an osteomyelitis. Okay? And then there's going to be fever, chills, dehydration, and lethargy. Anything about infection, magmamanifest ang signs and symptoms na to. Okay? So, diagnosis, you will see if there's an increase in ESR and in your C-reactive protein and cultures. And X-ray naman makikita if acute, you will have a region lucency after 2 to 4 weeks. Kayang makita ng X-ray kung merong infection. Pabunot na kayo ng ngipin, pina-X-ray na yung ngipin ninyo, panoramic X-ray, di ba nakikita din kung may infection? Because pus formation will be seen in X-ray. Okay? Then you have an onion skin appearance kung chronic na. Okay? Pag matagal na siya. And then, for assessment of non-bone parts like your joints, your tendons, your ligaments, okay, you will have to be requested with your CT scan or an MRI. Okay? Of course, treatment, hindi basta-basta. Una, hindi kasi sunod-sunod to eh. Tatanggalin mo muna, mag-irrigate, is na ako ah. So, mag-irrigate ka muna, okay? Mag-irrigate ka muna, and then you will debris, tatanggalin mo yung mga formation doon, then lilinisin mo siya, no, with NSS, and then hindi naman amputation, no. So severe na ito kung talagang sobrang lala na, no. And then kapag nalinis mo na siya, then you will be started with long course of antibiotics for 4 to 6 weeks. This may include tetracycline, vancomycin, rifampicin, and then erythromycin. Class, where do you see rifampicin? Anong sakit? Wala pa kayong AUBF, no? So, anong sakit nakikita ang rifampicin? Sa TB. Okay, tama. Okay. So, rifampicin is a treatment for TB. Di ba apat yan? Rifampicin, isoniazid, pyrazinamide, ethambutol. Okay? It's your rifampicin that creates your reddish urine. Okay? Ang problema kasi sa TB, hindi lang baga, no? So, may TB meningitis ka, may TB of the skin ka, may TB of the lymph nodes ka, may TB of the spine pa. Ito yung minanage ko nung isang beses, yung ah, Pat's disease. Sabi ko may Pat's disease pa pala ngayon. Akala ko wala na, no? So TB of the spine. You can also have TB of the bone. Okay? So when you have TB of the bone, papasok ngayon yan sa rifampicin. Kapag ka Staphylococcus, vancomycin, erythromycin. Tetracycline, this includes your doxycycline kasi ito eh. No? So any other infection siguro, no? That will be covered by your doxycycline. And then you will have replacement of affected prosthesis. Okay? Next, we have here, ay hindi class, para fair. I will end my lecture here. Mahaba kasi ito, ayoko mabitin itong calcium. So, but please, uh, please, don't worry, i-upload ko naman ito sa YouTube ulit. Okay? So, thank you.